Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today, it's our pleasure to have His Grace Premavasya Prabhu. We'll be sharing the letter from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 5, chapter number 13, and Sloka number 11. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhuji.
Sloka not 10, Prabhuji, na?
Yes, Prabhuji. 10, Prabhuji.
Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
I said 11. Yeah, 10.
Yes. So let's start. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिया। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome devotees. Today we are going to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me share my screen. I will share sloka. Can you see what sloka, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. So we are going to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 13, verse 10. Karhi samachit sutrasan vichinvan tan makchikabhir vedhito vimanaha tatrat krichat pratilaptamano Valadipante atotam tatone. Synonyms and translation and purpose Prabhupada ki jai. Karhi samachit, sometimes chudra, very insignificant, rasan, sexual enjoyment, which in one searching for tat, of those women, makchikabhi, by the honeybees, or the husbands or the family members, Veshita, very much aggrieved, Vimanaha, insulted, Tatra, in that, Ati, very much, Kritra, very difficulty, with difficulty because of spending money, Pratilabdhamanaha, obtaining sex enjoyment, Balat, by force, Vipul Mupanti, kidnap, Atha, therefore, Tam, the object of sense enjoyment, that woman, Tata, from him, Anya, another devotion. Translation: sometimes, in order to have a little insignificant sex enjoyment, one searches after devout woman. In this attempt, one is insulted and chastised by the woman's kinsman. This is like going to take honey from a beehive and being attacked by the bees. Sometimes, after spending lots of money, one may acquire another woman for some extra sense enjoyment. Unfortunately, the object of sense enjoyment, the woman, is taken away or kidnapped by another debauch. Purport. In a great forest, honeycombs are very important. People often go there to collect honey from the combs, and sometimes the bees attack and punish them. In human society, those who are not Krishna conscious remain in the forest of material life simply for the honey of sex life. Such debauchees are not at all satisfied with one wife. They want many women. Day after day, with great difficulty, they try to secure such women, and sometimes, while trying to taste this kind of honey, were attacked by the woman's kinsmen and chastised very heavily. By bribing others, one may secure another woman for enjoyment, yet another debauchee may kidnap her or offer her something better. This woman hunting is going on in the forest of material world, sometimes legally and sometimes illegally. Consequently, in this Krishna consciousness movement, the devotees are forbidden to have illicit sex. Thus, they avoid so many difficulties. One should remain satisfied with one woman being duly married. One can satisfy one's lust desire with his wife without creating disturbances in society and being punished for doing so. Hare Krishna. So, this is the verse we are discussing, and this is a discussion between Jad Bharat and Maharaj Rahugana. So, the important point that we need to discuss here is that he wanted Rahugana, Jad Bharat wanted Rahugana to free him from the clutches of material enjoyment. Here we need to understand one thing, that the we will be able to understand what material world is once we are detached from it. We will never be able to understand the difficulties of this material world till we are enjoying it, or we have the mentality to enjoy this. And on contrast, we will be able to understand the nectar devotional service once we get attached to it. So, without being attached to the devotional service, we will never understand the importance of devotional service. And without getting detached from the material world, we will never be able to understand what is the challenges, what are the disadvantages of the material world. So, therefore, it is always advised to get detached from material world and get attached to the spiritual activities or devotional activities. So that was the purpose of Jar Bharat narrating this story. In Narad Bhakti Sutra, when Narada is describing, Narad Muni is describing the definition of devotion. So he describes that Vyasdev says that just having a intense hankering or anuraga for the worshipping of the deities is called devotion. Then again, Narada says that uh, Garg Muni defines that if we have intense desire for hearing Shravanam for the kathas or the pastimes of the Lord, then it is called bhakti. And then again, Narad Muni says that Sandilya, Rishi Sandilya, he says that bhakti means one who enjoys uninterrupted bliss by being in association of the Lord. That is called bhakti. But Narada says that in opinion of Narada Muni, the bhakti means two things. He says two steps. One is that you offer whatever you have to the Lord, and secondly, the person becomes very agitated, very disturbed, even for a fraction of a second if he forgets Lord. So, for example, I go to office and then for 8 hours I don't remember Lord, but I'm happy with that. So it means that I am not in as a devotee in terms of Narada Muni. So according to definition of a person who is engaged in bhakti or devotion is a person who just like I can stop breathing for say 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Sometimes people can stop breathing for 1 minute or say 2 minutes also max, or I do not know how much. But after some time, the anxiety will start. They cannot leave now. Similarly, a devotee is one who is engaged in the service of Lord, but the moment he's detached or somebody comes and disturbs him, he becomes agitated. And in that context only, Lord Narada says that someone says that uh, knowledge is required, jnana is required to attain bhakti. Again, Narada says that somebody says that knowledge and bhakti, they are both interdependent on each other. Then Lord Narada says, Narada Muni says that according to him, according to him, bhakti is the result of bhakti. Bhakti is not result of something else. And he gives example and analogy in Narad Bhakti Sutra itself. He says two analogy he gives. He says if a king is there and if you show him the you look at uh, this is your palace, but you cannot enter it. So king cannot enjoy it. Similarly, if there's a lot of food items are there, we say chappan bhog, and this chappan bhog is there, but you can just see, but you cannot eat it, so you cannot enjoy it. Similarly, Narada says that bhakti is the result of bhakti itself. So even if you deliver talks, if you talk about devotion service, but until unless one is engaged in the devotional service, will not get devotion. So therefore, in temple, what happens that when we preach, basically when you do online preaching or we talk online, then we do not get an opportunity for other person to engage him in the devotional service other than just listening. So listening also devotional service, but in temple what happens that a person comes, then he interacts with devotee, he participates in kirtana, he sometimes participates in japas, he takes prasadam, and he may get involved in some services. So the moment one gets involved in devotional services, he gets to understand what is devotional services. And to understand that there is a challenge in this material world. The material world is not fit for us, and material world is not suitable for us, and we are entangled into material world. To understand that, we need to detach ourselves from material world. Then only we will be able to understand the that we are dependent on the material world, and then we are entangled, and jana mrityu jara vyadhi, these are all things are associated with the material world. So just like we are discussing before the class that some devotees have gone for yatra. So when you go in yatra, that is a time period when we understand that this material world is not good, and but then we are in a compromising situation, we are in a, so just like grihasthas. So if you have seen this uh, clip, I mean the clip is used to hold the clothes, okay? So just think that these are two clips. So now I attach the two clips like this, and now I want to detach these two clips. So what will happen that if one clip opens up, but other clip is still holding, so it will not detach. Now, if this opens up, this is still holding, so this is not detached. So, in order to detach, both the clip has to open simultaneously. Then only they will get detached. So, this is the position of grihasthas. So, husband and wife. So, if husband is get detached from the material world, and then he wants detached, then wife will hold on. And if wife wants to detach, then husband will hold on. So both have to detach, then only together they will detach. Otherwise, it's just like a compromise situation. Sometimes he detached, sometimes wife is detached. So that compromise situation always there, and therefore for Grihastha it is said regulated sense enjoyment is permitted according to certain boundaries. But overall, what it is said that in this context, Jar Bharat is trying to explain that in the form of stories, and later on, King Rahugana will ask again that can you please explain me more? So in the next chapters, we'll also read the meaning of it. So in a sense, Jar Bharat is trying to educate him that whatever opulences one has, whatever material development one does, the base is the sex enjoyment. Uh, that is the base of this entire creation. So if you want to understand that what is the role of our mind, if you ask a psychologist, what is the role of our mind? What is the most important role of our mind? And what is the next important role of our of mind? How it works? So our brain is designed in such a way that the the most important aspect of brain is to the survival. It wants to make us survive somehow. So the moment it sees it is a threat, it will try to give the ideas, fight or run or make a strategy. Even it starts secreting different enzymes and hormones so that our body is able to survive. And the next is once the body is able to survive, next is to reproduce. So these are two most important activity of the brain. In the creation, our brain is designed in such a way that the first instinct is to survive, and if you survive, the next instinct is to reproduce. So they reproduce, and therefore the impetus of reproduction or getting involved in the act of reproduction is there by the programming in the mind. Now, how we need to think about how should we think about this programming and what to do. So now think about any say for example cricket match or a football match or any obstacle race. Think about those. So uh, let's discuss about football games. So there's a football game. So there are two goalposts, one on the east, on the west, and that there are two teams, and there's a one ball, and the goals are there, and the team has to run and put the ball in other goalpost inside the other goalpost. And now the role of other team is to disturb and snatch, get the ball snatched from them, and play another technique and just defeat them. So we should think life as a game, and therefore a person who does not have a goal in his mind, he will always get disturbed by the activities that comes in the between. So and a person who has a goal in his mind, so no matter, so one player, he takes the ball and now he's running to put the ball in the goal post, and there are 11 players who are trying to snatch the ball, get the ball from him, but anyhow. So somebody is coming from the left, somebody is chasing him, somebody on the right, and somebody in front, and then somebody disturbs him. He falls down, and he loses the ball, and again he gets up and trying to get on the ball from other side. And because he's not disturbed by the behaviors, he's not saying that, wait, why are you disturbing? My goal is to put the ball in the goal post, but I'm getting disturbed. They are playing very foul. He does not care about anything. Similarly, uh, we get disturbed in this material world because we do not have a proper goal in our mind. A person who has goal in his mind, he will never get disturbed, neither by the sex desire, neither by the disturbance of our senses. So we should have a goal in our mind. So when we talk in outside in the corporate world or in the material world, they try to put the goal something material which will not be lasting, and it is not a permanent goal. But for us, for a devotee who is practicing devotion services, we know what is the importance of devotion. We read Bhagavatam, we read Bhagavad Gita, we know Vedas, and from there we get our goal. So we need to set our goal, and every day we should keep our goal in front of us, and then we should try to perform those activities which are conducive to our goal, our what is our purpose, where I want to go. And if that goal is if that goal is fixed, then we will not be disturbed. Just example, if you take the obstacle race, so there are 100-meter obstacle race, and then there are 200 obstacle race, 400 obstacle race. So they are not disturbed by the obstacles that comes in between, but they are prepared. They know how to jump. They will not interact with the obstacles. Similarly, if consider a person who is shooting a pistol or a bow and arrow, then there are winds are there. Winds are coming, and then he need to modify his strategy. He's not talking to wind. He's not disturbed by the wind and says that give me a quiet place and then I will shoot my arrow and I will win the goal. So that is not the case. Similarly, if you consider any kind of activity in the world, say for example, someone is surfing in the sea. So what happens that there are lots of uncertainty. So the person who is surfing in the sea, then you know that waves are coming, and then he's surfing. So the more the waves, the better he performs. So this is the expert surfer. Similarly, the for a devotee who is a very serious devotee, who has a goal in his mind, the more the disturbance in his life, the more he better performs. The more challenges are there, the more he becomes better. Just for example, I will give another example. So think about an aeroplane. So aeroplane, if there is no air resisting the aeroplane, it will be very difficult for aeroplane to rise up. Aeroplane runs forward and there is a resistance from the air, and it takes help of the resistance, and then it rises up. So this is the way a devotee lives, because they have a goal in the mind. And once we have a goal in our mind, we will not be disturbed. Will not be disturbed by our senses or sex desires or other disturbances and other news in this world. Will never be disturbed, because what we should understand that everyone what is their life. The life is the result of their karmas of the past life, and then they are suffering or enjoying in this world. Similarly, based on our karmas, we get certain opportunity to enjoy in this world, or suffer. So either we enjoy or we suffer. So both things are there. So depending on our karmas, we get all the occurrences. So husband, wife, children, material opulences, and a healthy body, and a place like in this world there are different places are there. Some places are very opulent places. We have enough water to drink, you have enough food to eat. The atmosphere is very conducive. But there are certain places in this earth itself where there is a scarcity of water, there is a scarcity of food. People are not good, government is not good, and if you happen to be born in that country, then you will there's a high chance that you will die starving. You will die because of thirst or because of malnutrition, because of food. So based on our karmas, we are in a situation. Now the difficulty is for them who has performed good karma in the past, and based on their good karmas, now they have what they have a very healthy body, they are very opulent, and this our pious activity, results of pious activity, sometimes becomes a disturbance in our progress in our devotional life. So there are the bad karmas also hinders our progress, because bad karma will cause diseases, and then the environment will not be suitable, husband-wife relationship will not be good, children will not be good, society and the your mind will not be good, and then for them a different kind of situation is there. So everyone has a disturbance. Sometimes our pap karmas and our punya karmas, good activities and bad activities, they are like impediments in our devotional services, or the devotional goals. So therefore, uh, just simply by talking that we say the vacho vegam, jihva vegam, manasa krodha vegam, udar pushta vegam. So all this veg is there, but people that do not realize the veg. What is the veg? Veg means there's a force. There's a force, and they do not realize what the force is, and they think that it is very normal. For example, uh, uh, you don't eat for some time, and then the hunger starts, and sometimes you can experience that there's a force of hunger is there, and now if you're hungry for longer time, and then you get a food, you eat a lot, and then if you think that no, now I will control, it becomes very difficult. And then at that time, you realize that there's a demand of the stomach, the belly demand is there. Similarly, to speak, there's a force, you want to say something. And there are many opportunities that they want to speak something. For example, uh, you are doing chanting, you are doing your japas, and then and you hear someone talking, or there is some conversation going, and then you will see the force, the urge to speak comes up, and the urge to speak, it becomes so strong that we stop our doing japa, and then we feel like commenting on that person, or commenting on that topic. Then you realize that there is a force which uh, which I could not control, and therefore I am now I stop my japa, and then I started speaking. So devotees, in a association devotee, they understand that these are the forces are there. Similarly, a person who drinks tea or coffee every day, and morning, evening, they will not understand that there is an inbuilt force that is forcing them to drink tea or coffee. When they stop for some time, and they want to quit smoking, quit drinking, then they realize that there's a force within. So, so how we should think about this? We should think about this like a game. We are playing a game. So, Lord Krishna has put us not in a difficult situation, but Lord Krishna has put us in a game. It's like a game, and Lord is watching us, and He wants us to excel. He wants us to excel in this game, and the game is like we want to go. So Lord has placed material energy, and material energy, his job is to delude us. We want to make progress, and suppose a person becomes a good speaker, he's a good speaker, then he will get more followers, and if he's a good singer, then Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur used to say that don't sing in a very melodious sound. Otherwise, women will be attracted towards you, and then your life is be spoiled. So if you're a good singer, people get attracted towards you. If you're a good speaker, people get attracted towards you. And then there's a lot of chances that you will forget what your original goal was. And then the goal becomes to please people, sing for the pleasure of the person sitting in front of us. So what we require is like we require a coach like our spiritual master, who will always puts us on right track. This is your goal, this is your goal. Focus on the goal, don't get disturbed. So think life as a game, and the Maya is on other side, and her job is to distract us, and derail us from our goal. So upper, and then she wants to give goal which is a material goal, and if we accept the proposal, then we lose, and the Maya wins. And if Maya wins, then also Lord enjoys, because Maya is also her team, and we also hurt him. But Lord wants us to win, and therefore He gives all the opportunity for us to win. And then, so just like think about there are many games in this world where you may die if you fail, you may die. So there are very dangerous games are there, and in that game, I mean, you need to play for a month together, or weeks together, or 10 days or 20 days, something like that. And the games goes on, and then in the game, sometimes you may not get food. So you may have seen somebody who likes to go for trekking in the forest and the mountain, and there's always chance that they may die. They may die in the forest. They may fall from the height in the mountain, but they enjoy those challenges. They go without food for many days. Even sometimes they're injured, their leg is broken, a hand is broken, sometimes they feel ill, but they're never disturbed because their goal is that I want to be the first person to go on the Mount Everest. I want to be the first person who travel the entire terrain of this forest and the rivers. Now the game starts now. So our game has already started. We are into the game of this material world, and the Lord is watching us. If the Maya wins, Lord then also enjoys. He praises Maya. Well done, Maya Devi. Well done. I like your strategy. Very well done. Very well done. And if a devotee falls down, if your devotee wins, Lord's praises. Very well done. I'm very happy with you. Uh, you could conquer the Maya. You are able to, and then Lord is more in favor of us. Lord is favoring us. Lord is not favoring Maya. So that is the advantage that we need to take advantage of it. How Lord is favoring? Lord, for Maya Devi, there's no guru. There's no spiritual master for the Maya Devi. How to? There is set instructions are there, and she just following the instructions. And she's powerful. She's very powerful, and she's as good as Lord Himself. Very powerful. And but because we are for us, Lord loves us, and therefore we should be very thankful that Lord has given the books. He guides us. He also gives, he Lord starts giving suggestion within our heart. So in Bhagavatam, you will read that how to realize that Lord is within us. So the statement is like, the moment the moment you start hearing there is a voice within, then you know that that voice is from the Lord itself. Lord is guiding us. So Lord is guiding from within. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do it. This is good. Sometimes you see a person, and then I will share my experience. So uh, one day I was working in my lab in Pune, and then suddenly a person comes in a lab, and when I was looking at that person, I mean, somebody said in my heart from within that talk to this person will change your life. I do not know that person. I do not know why he has come and what he's looking for, but there was a voice within. Talk to this person, he will change your life. And then I went ahead and asked him, I mean, do you need any help? Are you looking for someone? Can I help you? And then he said, I'm looking for this lab, I'm looking for this scientist, I want to connect him. And you know that he was that person who connected me with the ISKCON temple first, and then my life changed. So Lord guides us from within. Sometimes He will guide us. This is not good for you. Refrain from that. Sometimes He guides us, do this, sometimes do not do this. And the more we learn to connect our inner voice, then more louder it becomes. And the more we suppress our inner voice, I mean, become very faint, and then sometimes you can't hear those voices also. And on top of it, if we are in the doubt that is it the inner voice or is it my own voice I'm hearing myself, and I may derail, I may go on wrong path. Then if we are in doubt on their situation, then we have this Bhagavatam is there, devotee circle is there, and then we also have a spiritual master. So a lot of helps are there. So think life as a game, and that we need to play. Don't think that if everything is smooth in our life, then it is good. Things should not be smooth in our life. there should be always some challenges, and we should try to overcome challenges. And how we can overcome the challenges? We have one, if we have one goal in our mind. So we should have a vision statement. We should have a goal for our life, and uh, goal. I mean, you need to set the goal. How you want to place yourself as a goal for devotion services. It could be many things. And then just like Srila Prabhupada, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, his spiritual master, he said that if you have some money, print books, and then if you get a chance, go and preach to English-speaking people. So he made that is his goal in life. And we all have read Srila Prabhupada's biographies. We have all have seen how much difficulty he faced. He faced in his life, but he never talks about those difficulties. He always talks about Lord Krishna, because his purpose is not to talk about the difficult position that he was in, but his purpose was, his goal was to spread Krishna consciousness to the English speaking people, to the English world, print books and distribute. So that was his goal. So therefore, what we see that in this verse, Jar Bharata is talking with Rahugana, and he is talking about the life as a forest. So in our Shastras, we see that many times what happens that stories are told, and then we reconnect it from our experiences, because a story we can remember and then reconnect it. So similarly, we should think life as a game, and all these sex desires, or the lust or the greed, they are like disturbances, or just like obstacle in life, and you need to overcome. And to overcome that, we have shastras are there, we have devotees are there, circle is there, association of devotees is there, spiritual master is there. So best we should utilize them best and overcome the obstacle and fix our goal. So in the morning, every time when we sing the Sikshastakam, so there we get our goal in a sense that we always say that what is our goal? Our goal is to serve Lord unconditionally. Tat sukha sukhitam. We are happy. The Lord is happy. We are happy with our spiritual master is happy. So these are the very broad goals that we get. Now each one of us can have our own goal, or we can set our own purpose in life in the spiritual journey. How do we see how do you see after some time, where do we want to get engaged, what kind of services we want to perform, what kind of mental state that we want to reach. We can have a devotee in our minds. Just for example, in the corporate world or in the material world, they say that, do you have a role model in your life? So the person wants to become like a role model. And for us, the role model are the gopis. Lord Chaitanya says that they are our role model. So we should always think the level of devotional services that they perform. So in this verse, it is said that person should avoid being trapped in the material pleasure, and the highest pleasure in material world is sex enjoyment. And to overcome this, just by talking about just by talking about it, this is not good, this is not good, we will never be able to overcome those. We will have to make a strategies to win over these desires. And in that strategy, devotees are going to help, spiritual master is going to help, and we should talk about it, and by that we can win over it. Okay, so I will stop here, and let's discuss. If you have any question, you can ask the question. I may not answer all the questions, but some devotees from the group can answer it, or I mean, you can search for the answers. So I will stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Premavasya Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was very nice class. I think what you mentioned about the goal aspect, I think that is very, very important. I think we should, that's a takeaway lesson for me. Um, First, we always, have a goal, especially in our spiritual movement. It is very clear. Prabhupada and other disciples of Prabhupada keep insisting on reminding the goal, why we are here. I think you made a point about that, Prabhuji. Thank you. The devotees may please unmute the line and share your reflections or comments or questions. Devotees, are you able to unmute? Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Please go
Hare
ahead,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Modi.
Thank you for that wonderful class, Prabhu. It was very enlightening. Prabhu, if it's not difficult, can you repeat that different ways of understanding Bhakti, Prabhu?
Okay. So in Narad Bhakti Sutra, there are 84 slokas are there, and then they are divided into different portions, and it's all about devotion. So from sloka number 15 to 33, the discussion is defining that what is bhakti, is divine bhakti, and then he gives the ideas or from the different people, and then he gives out his own ideas. So he says that what is devotion? So according to Vyasadeva, let me read the exact verses, and then it will be very good. So we have some time, so I can.
Which book, Prabhu?
It is Narad Bhakti Sutra, Mataji.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I will just read very quickly. So from chapter 2, it start, and he said, Puja Adisu Anuraga iti Parasaryaha. Puja Adisu Anuraga iti Parasarya. That means Vyasdeva, the son of Parasara Muni, he said, Puja Adisu Anuraga. So Anurag means intense attachment to the worship of the Lord. If a person is there, then that is called bhakti. And then he says, Katha Adisu iti Gargaha. So Garga Muni says that if one has intense hankering for listening to the about Lord, about his kathas, about the pastime, then we can say that this is bhakti. And then according to Sandilya, he said, Atmarati avirodhena iti Sandilya. So if one person is remains blissful in the association of Lord, how in the association of Lord? Because of thinking about him, because of talking about him. And he says, avirodhena, without any disturbances. So that is called bhakti. And now he says that according to Narada. So he said, Naradastu tat arpita akhila acharat. Tat arpita. He, a person, a devotee, if he offers everything, all his act, everything that is had to the Lord, and then tat vismarane param vyakulata iti. And if he, vismarane means for a fraction of a second, if he's not able to think about Lord, then he becomes very anxious, very anxiety, very much disturbed. For example, you are chanting and you are thinking about Lord, and somebody comes and he says, "Here is a 1 crore check for you." He's not bothered. He can go. I'm just chanting. So that is what. And then, so these are 3 steps he says, and again he gives example that what is the example? That he said, Yatha Vajra Gopika Nam. Yatha Vajra Gopika Nam. So he said, what is the example of that? They are the Braj Gopikam. And then to explain to general public, he says that the gopis, they worship Lord by forgetting his Mahatmya. They forgot the Mahatma of the Lord and the glories or opulence of the Lord, and then they worship him. But for us, Tad Vihina Jara Maran and Jara Maraniva. So he said that, but for us, when we worship Lord, if you forget the opulence of the Lord or the Mahatma of the Lord, then that is not good. So for us, we should always worship Lord by remembering that that He is a supreme personality, He is the Lord, He's all the opulences. And then he says that if you do not do this, then he says that na eva tasmin tat sukha sukhitam. then the person will not work for the pleasure of the Lord, and then he falls down. This is what he says. And then again what he says, that that Fal Rupatva. So in Narad Bhakti Sutta, there are not long slokas, there are very short slokas. So one word, Fal Rupatva. So Sutta number or verse number 26, Fal Rupatva. So he says that uh, uh, the fruit of all the sadhanas is our bhakti. And therefore, what he says, that he said, Tasya jnanam eva sadhanamiti ek. So he said that some people say that that to develop bhakti, we should have jnana. We should have jnana. And then he said that somebody said, Anyona asritvam iti eke. Somebody says that jnana and bhakti, there are mutually dependent on each other. Okay, and then, but he said that Brahmakumara, Swam Falarupeti Brahmakumara. So the Brahmakumara, so Charkumara says that devotion is the result of the devotion. So devotion or bhakti is not dependent on anything else. And then he gives example. Rajagriha bhojan adisu tathaiva drishtvat natena raja paritosha shuta shantiva. Just like Rajagriha and Bhojana. So he gives example of Rajagriha, a palace of the king, and the Bhojana, food items. So king is not satisfied just by looking at the palace, and similarly a person is not satisfied just by looking at the food items, but he need to eat it. Just by looking at the food item, our hunger will not go away. Similarly, he said that the devotion or bhakti is the result of bhakti itself. So to get bhakti, we will have to do bhakti. I mean, so Lord Narada says that there are people, they have different opinions. So it is very good when we read from these great acharyas how they think about. So if somebody says that Gyan is required to get bhakti, we should accept it. Okay, fine. I agree, because Narada has said there are people who believe like that. If somebody says that Jnana and Bhakti both are interrelated to each other, we should say, okay, fine, I'm fine with that. And then Narada says, or Brahma Kumara says that devotion is the result of devotion itself. To get bhakti, we'll have to do bhakti. Now it up to us which definition we accept it, but this is the Narada Muni said. So I would say that as a devotee, we must read this book. This is the, I mean, I can't see, this is Narada Bhakti Sutra. So read it. It is available in a bookstore also, and very nice one. So the 84 slokas, very small slokas are there, and that will guide us. So just by talking about that sex life is bad, sense enjoyment is bad, we will never be able to overcome those. But we need to make a strategy. We need to make a strategy. And who will make a strategy? One who has a goal in his life, who has a spiritual goal in his life, and he want to attain that goal, and then he consider that his life is like a game, and because it's a game, he is not disturbed by all the conditions in life, and then he learns a strategy to overcome it, and then that is a person who will win over the material disturbances, and he will become success. Is that answers, Mataji, your question?
Yes, Prabhu. Very nice, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Especially life is like a game. It makes it so light, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Dandavat. Next.
Thank you, Mataji, for that very nice question. Thank you, Prabhu, for explaining us again. Hare Krishna devotees, are there any other comments, questions? I think there are no questions, Prabhuji. Once again, Prabhu, thank you very much for your time. And on this auspicious day of, I think somebody celebrates today, somebody celebrates tomorrow. Today is the day of Saraswati Puja, or the day it's also called as Vijayadashami, Dasara. So wish all the devotees have wonderful celebrations, and we will meet again tomorrow morning. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
We'll end the today's session with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha Kalpata Rubhyasya कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावने वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रमाण हरि हरि। Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, devotees. End the session.